Chris, an intriguing game of football. What was your assessment in particular of that last quarter and how you guys were able to, I guess, arrest the trend of the first half?
Yeah, I thought it was a poor game of football in terms of the skill level. It feels like we were outplayed for most of it. We were able to make some adjustments to make it a little bit harder for them, but they still missed a bit later. We did as well. We didn't execute very well with the ball, and that's really my reference to the quality of the game. It was a lot windier than I think most people would have expected here at the SCG, so maybe a little bit of an allowance for that. But in terms of the will and the desire to win from both teams, I thought it must have been intriguing from a fan's perspective, and I like the use of the word, Tom, from a media perspective. From a coaching perspective, it was just feels like we've played poorly, let them have the game the way they wanted it to be for too long. And yeah, as I said, maybe arrested a little bit in the second half. They weren't able to mark the ball, going forward as much. We made that a little bit harder for them anyway. But yeah, it feels like 2 points is better than none, and none's probably what we deserve for large parts of it.
So although it was the Swans through Isaac Heaney that got that goal in the last minute, it feels like you stole those extra 2 points a bit, given the way the game played out, and especially with the Swans' troubles in front of goal.
A little bit, yeah. No, it did feel that way. Now, having said that, we were the team in front late in the game. We needed to. I think we were minus 16 entries at half time. They missed a lot. Could have been a long way up on the scoreboard. So the positive from mine, and generally try to be positive in these situations, is that we were able to hang in when the game for large parts wasn't going our way. It's easy to kind of think it's not your night, but I was pleased with the way our guys hung in. But yeah, I think it's a reasonable assessment. I'm not sure. I'm assuming John's already spoken. Oh, he hasn't. Okay. I'm assuming they'd be pretty flat. But said pre-game, both teams have kind of had their problems this year. And it's sort of, I think if someone had have said at the start of the year that there's going to be a grand final replay round 16 at the SCG and it's going to finish in a draw, you'd be desperate to get a hold of that tape. Not this one.
You can identify, obviously, individual moments. Danger asked to play on, following that, I think it was called a mark. What was your interpretation of that situation? Was there enough clarity on that?
Oh, I can only assume that he used up his 30. But I haven't sort of thought about it too. And the one that sort of irritated me a little bit more, to be honest, is the one where he got called to play on for stepping 10 centimetres off his line at the top of the 50. You can come miles off your line these days and the umpire won't call you, but as soon as you're sort of shaped to kick and go 10 centimetres off your line, he calls you to play on. It's just the inconsistency there, not from the umpires, around the ruling and the interpretation that they're provided doesn't make any sense to me. So I have a bit more of a look at the 30-second one. The one thing I will say is the Swans were all over it. So they knew. Maybe they know where the scoreboard is better than Pat does.
What, the counting clock? Or? Yeah.
Can you talk us through some of the changes you made late, I guess, after the Swans had dominated territory, in particular in the first half, and the last quarter at least seemed to be a bit more of an arm wrestle? Yeah,
there was Mitch Duncan going in the middle, I thought really helped us late, and there are a few things defensively, a little bit less around sort of personnel and more about method. The way they want to play is quite clear, and it's very effective when they get it going, and their ability, particularly at this ground, to lower their eyes going inside 50 and find that short kick, makes them dangerous to play against. And if you're a little bit off, they can punish you. And I thought we played their game a little bit too much. They were able to use the ball well, and when we had the chance to control it a bit more, we rushed it a bit more, and the skiller has really contributed to that. It's like, even in review, I'm sure we'll kind of look at some situations and think about method and think about structure, but some turnovers are really hard to defend, and I think, but again, we don't coach skill that hard. We just assume that we work really hard on it, and players know when they've made errors. If they're working on their game, we'll back them, and they've got a good track record of playing better than that. We're confident we can play better than that.